School of Management Studies, IGNOU presents an audiobook on the course Mmpc 006 Marketing Management for MBA program. Block 1 Introduction to Marketing and Markets. Unit 2 Marketing Environment Analysis. Part 2.
Political legal environment. Companies operate within the framework of the prevailing political and legal environment within a state or a country in which they function. The economic environment is a byproduct of the political system of a country. Not only that, in fact, political decisions influence the adoption of new technologies and the socio-cultural factors in the country. Some of the factors concerning the political environment are the form of government adopted by the government, political stability, social and religious organizations, media and special interest groups, and lobbying. Marketing organizations must understand and adapt to the legal framework related to their industry. Broadly, the legal structure in any economy deals with the issues related to corporate affairs. Environmental protection, competition laws, taxation laws, consumer and employee protection, regulations of products, pricing, distribution, and promotion and protecting the domestic industry. According to a news report published in Business Standard dated December 31, 2019, proved a rather challenging year for India from the viewpoint of the economy. While sectors like automobile, real estate, and aviation suffered a demand slowdown, banking and financial services were weighed down by ballooning bad loans and non-banking financial companies' crisis and a general credit squeeze. The telecom sector also suffered a major setback as their dues to the government came to Rs 1.3 trillion after the Supreme Court's adjusted gross revenue order. Here is a list of key policy decisions that affected the Indian economy in 2019. Corporate tax rate cut. In the biggest corporate tax reduction in 28 years, the government reduced it from 30% to 22% and to 50% for new manufacturing companies. Rupees 25,000 crore real estate fund. The government approved Rupees 25,000 crore fund for the real estate sector. This move is expected to aid the completion of over 1,600 stalled housing projects. Bank recapitalization. The government decided on the capital infusion of Rupees 70,000 crore into public sector banks to boost lending and improve the liquidity situation. Changes in FDI rules. The government allowed 100% foreign investment in coal mining and contract manufacturing. Further, the government eased sourcing norms for single-brand retailers and approved 26% foreign investment in digital media. The PM Kisan scheme. Under this, the government disbursed around Rs 36,000 crore to 140 million beneficiaries as of December 2019. Merger of banks. To revitalize the banking sector, the government took a decision to merge PSBs and reduce their number from 27 to 12. The government decided to merge 10 PSBs into 4 entities. Privatization of CPSEs. The government initiated the process to privatize a number of central public sector enterprises, including Air India. It set an all-time high disinvestment target of Rs 1.05 trillion. Angel tax exemption. The government exempted all eligible startups and the investors from angel tax. Amendments to the IBC. The government made major changes to the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. It would enable to enforce a strict 330-day timeline for the insolvency resolution process. Micro-marketing environment or internal environment. As part of environmental analysis, as a marketer, you should understand the strengths and weaknesses by making an objective analysis of internal micro factors specific to your business or company. Let's briefly discuss the elements of the task environment. The consumer. In the preceding unit, we discussed the importance of customers while describing the philosophies of marketing management. The root cause for the marketing failure of any product or service lies within the firm's inability to understand and seek insights to the customer needs and wants. In the case of entertainment, garments, cosmetics, and personal care products, the tastes and preferences of customers keep changing with passage of time on a continuous basis. Companies who devote the required efforts to study the factors related to their customers better than their competitors would be more successful in achieving the marketing objectives. Some such factors to be monitored are identifying the right customers in terms of the needs to be satisfied, their purchasing power, buying behavior, brand switching behavior, etc. Suppliers. Suppliers play a key role in the success of any business. The task of supplying the right raw materials of good quality at right price and other inputs to the firm is of utmost importance, which has a direct bearing on the marketing performance of a business. Firms have to closely monitor the supplier environment as any change in the business practices of suppliers has serious implications. Intermediaries. There is no business which can operate without an intermediary or a middleman. These middlemen who function as an independent organization operating between the suppliers and the marketing organization on one hand and the marketing organization and the final customers on the other. Competition. Environmental analysis is incomplete without analyzing industry-level competition. Each industry is different from other in terms of the number of firms that exist, the type of products offered by them, the entry and exit barriers, government policies and regulations which are specific to a given industry. Industry competition analysis serves as a basis for strategy planning, formulating and implementation. The differences between macro environment and micro environment may be relevant to identify in the following table. Point of difference. Meaning, at micro environment, external environment of an organization, micro environment, inter environments of an organization. Nature. At micro environment, very complex. At micro environment, less complex to perceive. The task of the marketer. At micro environment, marketer interacts with the elements prevailing outside the organization. At micro environment, the marketer interacts with other functional areas of the organization. Extent of control. At macro environment, factors remain beyond the control of marketers. At micro environment, factors may be controlled to a large extent by a marketer. Impact. At macro environment, it creates a huge impact on shaping marketing decisions. At micro environment, remains comparatively independent in shaping marketing decisions. Function. At macro environment, factors may create an opportunity or pose a threat to the marketing activities of an organization. At micro environment, factors reveal the capabilities of an organization to exploit the opportunities or to combat the threat through its marketing activities. Changing marketing environment versus new Indian consumer. A discussion on the marketing environment will remain incomplete without robust grasps of the contemporary developments in the Indian context. Though we did make some references to the Indian context while discussing environmental analysis so far, given the overall purpose of this unit, we need to highlight some of the far-reaching changes that are taking place in the Indian marketing environment before moving forward. Heterogeneity. India, as we discussed earlier, is an example of a highly diversified country. This diversity in terms of geographical conditions, demographic factors, economic conditions, socio-cultural differences, etc. would provide ample marketing opportunities as well as pose serious challenges to the firms. Broadly, we may classify India as urban and rural, often described as Bharat, but they do not constitute two mutually exclusive parts of the market. It is generally perceived that urban India is totally well off, while rural India is not so well off. There is a misnomer that urban India represents the rich class, while rural India the poor class of the society. In fact, there are many studies that describe the existence of a higher degree of purchasing power in many parts of rural India, and also a vast number of people in urban spaces who are struggling to make both ends meet. In other words, within urban India, there exist many variations, and the same is the case with rural India. In brief, we can assume that there are many Indias within rural India, so also in urban India. Shift of sellers' markets into buyers' markets. Have you ever heard of the wait list economy? A few decades back, customers in India had to wait for a long time for getting certain products or services. Critics often lament the Indian economy as a wait list economy, as the economy was characterized by the shortages of products and services, and the sellers used to exploit such a monopoly situation to their advantage. In sellers' markets, the buyers suffer due to weak bargaining capacity. However, the situation started improving in favor of the buyers, especially since 1991. In other words, the economic reforms adopted by the country since 1991 led to the availability of a number of products and services in most of the segments. Customers no longer have to queue up for a product. Buyers became powerful by enjoying better choices and improved bargaining power. Let's look at some instances in the past. Historically, the landline phone connection was considered as a luxury. It used to take more than 1 year to get a telephone connection and maybe another year to get an import license for a computer in the 1980s. The advent of mobile phones triggered dramatic changes in the telecom sector. Within a decade of its introduction, mobile phones in India crossed the 100 million subscriber mark in 2005. Very few products or services attained such a remarkable speed in popularity in a short span. The fixed landline phone as a product could not witness such type of product adoption by the customers. And it took more than 100 years for the number of landline connections to reach the first million figure. Interestingly, even the number of land phone connections crossed the 100 million mark in 2005, mainly due to the liberalization policies of the government. By 2008, India displaced the US to take the second rank in the world in the number of mobile subscribers with 260 million. The rising demand is sustained by cheaper internet tariffs, which paved way to e-commerce in India, and the influx of Chinese smartphones. Besides, in 2016, Reliance Jio entered the market, triggered a reduction in data prices, further accelerating the demand and increased sales for smartphone adoption. The rapid pace of digital adoption. India's fast pace and scale of digital adoption are driven by a combination of supply factors, falling bandwidth prices, low mobile device prices, rapid rollout of 4G, aggressive navigation of mobile technology, and demand factors, that is, rising affluence, fast mobile technology adoption across demography. This rapid digital adoption is driving a mobile-first ecosystem with mobile at its heart as observed by the World Economic Forum in 2019. The mobile-first approach means the practice of designing and or developing an online experience for mobile before designing for the desktop, web or other device. Coupled with India's track record in jugaad or frugal innovation, digital adoption has the potential to create massive disruption in consumption. This Hindi word jugaad found a place in the Oxford English Dictionary, which means a flexible approach to problem solving that uses limited resources in an innovative way. Mobile phone is both a social enabler and also a personal gadget. You have all the information, prices, and connections available right at your fingertips. It allows consumers to stay connected with the world all the time. The Indians are found to be spending much more time with their smartphones rather their families or dear ones. The fastest growing app market, the Indian scene. India's app market leads the world in terms of installs. There are more than 28,450 Indian publishers on Google Play by the turn of 2020. According to an estimate, over 19 billion mobile apps were downloaded by the Indians in 2019 compared to only over 6 billion in 2016. People in India spend 93% of all internet minutes via mobile. Below are a few reasons you need to know to understand India's growing mobile market. First, the multi-purpose super apps like Truecaller are trying to broaden their audience and keep users engaged with their app for as long as possible. The objective is to hold customers' attention and monopolize a user's activities on their mobile devices. Second, 45% to 55% of companies' digital advertising budgets are spent on mobile, and this is projected to increase to over 65% by 2022. 4 out of 5 businesses use video as a marketing tool. Third, some of the most popular apps in India's mobile market for Android and iOS are WhatsApp, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Truecaller, and Snapchat. Fourth, by the end of 2021, India is projected to have 310 million active gamers in a market worth $1 billion. COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the popularity of this app vertical as users were confined to indoors. Fifth, as more users were unable to use the gym due to the pandemic, fitness apps saw an increase of 40% in time spent on weight loss and fitness apps. Sixth, new apps in India have found their niche by offering different formats to reach out to a wide audience. Some popular news apps are InShorts, TOI, Daily Hunt, GeoNews, and Napoli. Growth of the e-commerce in India. India's e-commerce sector is expected to reach $99 billion by 2024, according to a report published by EY IVCA Trendbook 2021. Grocery and fashion or apparel are expected to be the key drivers of the growth. India will have 220 million online shoppers by 2025. The government is aiming to build a $1 trillion online economy by 2025 through the Digital India program. The online retail business is estimated to be 25% of the total organized retail market and is expected to grow further, especially in Tier 2 and 3 cities and towns. This could serve as a big market for native startups to tap in. At the same time, there have been many initiatives of the government such as the Startup India, Digital India, Skill India, Innovation Fund and BharatNet that would enable to boost the e-commerce sector. In addition, there has been a significant influx of capital in the B2C, that is, business to consumer model, primarily to support the supply chain, global expansion, acquisitions, and to move innovative product offers to the market. The B2C business model is one in which a company sells a service or product directly to a consumer. Amazon, eBay, and Netflix are a few examples. The growing B2C e-commerce scenario in India is attracting attention and key investments from global firms. Some of the leading e-commerce companies in India are Amazon India, Flipkart, IndiaMart, Myntra, AliExpress, MI Store India, Samsung Online Shop, Reliance Digital, Snapdeal, and JioMart. Besides, other sector-specific e-commerce companies are very much part of the e-commerce ecosystem. Rise of services economy. The growing importance of the services sector in the Indian economy could be understood by asking a simple question. What was the services sector's contribution to the GDP in 1950 and 1951? Most likely, it would be difficult to guess it correctly. It was only 28.6%. That is, agricultural sector's contribution 57.1%, industries contribution 14.3%. The services sector's contribution to the GDP at that time was only half of that of agriculture, but it surpassed agriculture in the mid-1960s. By the end of 2000-2001, there was a tremendous change in the proportions of these three sectors. The services sector became the major contributor with a 48.8% share in the GDP. The share of agriculture had gone down to 24.7% and the contribution of the industry was 26.4%. The contribution of the services sector rose to 57% of the GDP by the end of 2008 and 2009. Today, the services sector is the largest sector in India. Gross value added, that is GVA, at current prices for the services sector was estimated at Rs 96.54 lakh crore in 2020-2021. Thereby accounting for 53.89%. The industrial sector's contribution was nearly 26% and the share of agriculture and allied sector was 20.19%. Confederation of Indian Economy is one of their reports highlighted the industry profile of various services. They have the potential to provide ample employment opportunities to unlock India's demographic divide. They are IT, telecom, media and entertainment, healthcare, banking and financial services, retail, railways, environment, energy, logistics, exhibition and events, education, space, skills, startups, sports, cybersecurity, and trade facilitation. You must have observed that there is a sea change in the way customers are behaving in recent times. The technological innovations discussed so far and the emergence of a variety of services caused lifestyle changes in the people across the country. There are several reasons behind the impressive growth of the services sector in India, to mention a few. First, rising aspirations and rising incomes of customers across the demographics. Second, expanding the size of the middle class segment. Third, changing role of women. Fourth, cultural changes. Fifth, IT and media revolution. Sixth, conservation of natural resources. Seventh, increased consciousness of healthcare. 8. Impact of liberalization and globalization. 9th, targeting the bottom of the pyramid. Of the above, let us discuss the concept of the bottom of the pyramid. Realizing fortune at bottom of the pyramid. Educator and author C.K. Prahlad developed the concept of bottom of the pyramid. The unserved and undeserved people make up the bottom of the pyramid. Prahlad described the poor as an opportunity. The microcredit market in South Asia, especially in Bangladesh, is an example of the bottom of the pyramid. Through the Grameen Bank, Muhammad Yunus, a social entrepreneur and economist, pioneered and practiced the concepts of microcredit and microfinance. Such loans are given to entrepreneurs too poor to qualify for trade bank loans. Yunus and the Grameen Bank have shown that even the poorest of the poor can work to bring about their own development. Yunus and the Grameen Bank were jointly awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts through microcredit to create economic and social development from bottom. The following two Indian examples are discussed below to understand the concept of bottom of the pyramid, namely Aravind Eye Care System and Narayanan Hrudayalaya Hospital. Aravind models infinite vision. The cross-subsidy business model developed by Dr. Venkateswamy, founder of Aravind Eye Hospital, Madurai, is unique to healthcare industry. The money collected from patients who can afford is utilized to provide free treatment to the poor. In an 11-bed hospital manned by 4 medical officers, Dr. Venkateswamy saw the potential for what is today one of the largest facilities in the world for eye care. Over the years, this organization has evolved into a sophisticated system dedicated to compassionate service for sight. Aravind, with its mission to eliminate needless blindness, provides large volume, high quality and affordable care. 50% of its patients receive services either free of cost or at steeply subsidized rates. Yet, the organization remains financially self-sustainable. Much importance is given to equity, ensuring that all patients are accorded the same high-quality care and service, regardless of their income status. A critical component of Arvind's model is the high patient volume, which brings with it the benefits of economies of scale. Arvind's unique assembly line approach increases productivity tenfold. Over 4.5 lakh eye surgeries or procedures are performed a year at Aravind, making it the largest eye care provider in the world. Since its inception, Aravind handled more than 6.5 million outpatient visits and performed more than 7.8 million surgeries. The Aravind Eye Care System now serves as a model for India and the rest of the world. Narayana Hrudayalaya's Heart for the Less Fortunate. Founded by Dr. Devi Shetty with a mission to offer affordable health care to the people, the hospital is often known as the world's most economical healthcare service provider. Quality healthcare and affordability do not go hand in hand. Dr. Devi Shetty observed that those heart patients requiring surgery were to be contented with government hospitals, while quality seekers could afford private hospitals. Dr. Shetty began searching for a business model that would provide high-quality health services at affordable fees. He founded the hospital in 2001 as a 300-bed hospital. By 2021, the hospital has grown to become a 31-hospital network with 6,594 beds across 19 locations in India, employing 1,500 full-time doctors and 15,000 employees. The chain is expanding. Around 150 surgeries are performed per day and 80,000 OPD patients get treatment per month. Half of its patients are from the economically weaker sections. The cost of cardiac surgery is significantly lower by any standard. The focus on both cost and quality has not hurt its financials. According to a study conducted by IFC and World Resources Institute in 2007, the BOP market in India made up about 85% of the total household market. 78% of such underserved people reside in rural India. This international study provided interesting insights into how big the BOP market is and what is its buying power. In India, BOP accounted for 88% of the total national household expenditure on food, 87% of energy expenditure, 85% of health spend, 78% of household goods expenditure, and 52% of the country's total spent on ICT. BOP marketing involves meeting the unmet needs of price-sensitive, underserved segments of markets by creating new business models. Marketing research. Having discussed the importance of scanning and analyzing the marketing environment, it's time that marketers make the right marketing decisions in order to adapt to the dynamic and ever-changing environment. Such marketing decisions become correct only when they are based on the right marketing information. Marketing research is related to gathering marketing information. In the area of marketing, much of the information required for decision-making exists outside the firm. That is, information on why people buy only certain products, say motorbikes and not scooters. Information about the competitor's next move. For example, how Airtel would react to Reliance Jio's latest tariffs plans. Information about the government's rules and regulations which can affect your business. For instance, how the Maharashtra government's electric vehicles policy aiming to achieve an overall 10% of vehicle registrations to be EVs by 2025 would impact the sale of conventional vehicles, and so on and so forth. As discussed in earlier section, the marketing manager needs to analyze and seek more information in connection with macro environment factors which are relevant in which the business or the firm operates.
We were listening to the audiobook by the School of Management Studies IGNOU for MBA program, course code Mmpc 006, Marketing Management. Course Coordinator Professor T.B. Vijay Kumar, School of Management Studies IGNOU. Edited by Savita. Program assisted by Tarannum Jahan and Jagbandhu Jana. Program produced by Dr. Manoj Kumar Singh. This program was brought to you by Electronic Media Production Center of Indira Gandhi National Open University.